Everybody, this is L.A. Williams, and I'm here at the Patriot Chevy BDC with the team of people. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling this morning? Good morning.
We're awake.
So here's the situation. We actually are going to go live today, making a bunch of phone calls and things. But before we got started, there were some questions that we didn't quite get to yesterday because we were wrapping up the 12 days of Christmas. But I definitely want to be able to address them. So we're going to have them fire them off at me, and I figure if there's questions that they want to know the answer to, it's probably stuff you want to know the answer to also. So what you got?
Well, what if the customer owes too much on their current vehicle?
Okay. So I guess the first thing that I'm thinking when people say that is like, that's not something that I want my BDC being concerned about because we don't sell vehicles, right? We sell appointments. So the question at that point in time, let's say if I'm talking to a person and they're like, well, you know, I owe too much on my vehicle. Okay, cool. Well, first of all, how much is it? You want to know how much they owe on it, but they probably know the answer to that question. But the next question is, well, how much is it worth? Right? So I'm asking you. Okay, no problem. How much do you still own the vehicle?
I owe $12,000.
Okay, cool. And what's the current value of the vehicle?
I'm gonna say $10,000.
So it's $10,000. Okay, cool. And when was the last time you had it appraised?
I've never had it appraised.
Okay. So how'd you come up with the $10,000?
A friend of a friend told me.
Right. But they're not professional appraisers, right?
Not at all.
Can I make a recommendation?
Sure.
I recommend you bring your vehicle to us, right? And the reason why I'm saying is because we have professional appraisers on staff. Because here's the situation. Right now, would you agree, you might owe the $12,000, you know that number, but we really don't know how much it's worth. And on top of that, we don't know how much it's worth to us. You see what I'm saying? Because we have a market of people who are looking to purchase vehicles just like yours. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So I think the number one thing we got to do is we got to find out how much the vehicle's actually worth, because it could be worth more than you owe. I mean, it's tough to say, right? There really could be a lot of equity in the vehicle, and so again, we want to find out, and then once we know, then we can make a more educated decision. Am I right?
For sure.
Awesome. So when's the best time for us to get together? Are you free today, or should we do this tomorrow sometime? You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go ahead and set the appointment.
Today works. But
Y'all see where I'm coming from?
yes.
So again, it's not something that I'm really going to concern myself with. I think the questions that I would ask in that sense is, okay, how much do you still own the vehicle? How much is it worth? Of course, people try to come up with these arbitrary numbers. I want to know, okay, well, when was the last time that it was appraised, right? And then was it professionally appraised? And then even still, I'm going to say, okay, well, that's how much the vehicle was to them. But when you think about it, until we see the vehicle, we don't know how much it's worth to us. Because it could be two totally different numbers. Make sense?
Yes.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Awesome.
So what do you do when somebody says, so yesterday I got a phone call and the guy said, I said, would tomorrow work for you or Saturday? And he said, Saturday. And I said, okay, morning or afternoon work better for you? And he was like, I'm gonna have to text you tomorrow and let you know what time.
Right, okay. I totally understand where you come from. So when you think about it though, do you think the morning or the afternoon works better for you? I know you may not know exactly.
Yeah, it was.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
You got to learn how to re-ask the question in a different way.
It was challenging. He spoke mostly Spanish, so I was struggling.
Right, and you look. I'm not gonna let that stop me. Right, it is what it is. I'm just gonna re-ask the question.
Yeah, well, even after I said goodbye, he stayed on the phone for like another 6 minutes just talking to someone else. So I think like the whole thing was.
Well, then if you can put it in the category of, okay, like a once type of situation. It doesn't have to apply, but you do want to know how to handle that situation because you're going to get to the lie.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They're going to go, oh well, I had to text you and let you know. Right. No, I completely understand and I appreciate that. I'm just asking, what do you think it'll be better in the morning or in the afternoon? I'm just going to re-ask the question.
Yeah.
Right. And then that way, once I present him these options, just stay with me here. Once I present him the options, and he go, well, my morning's kind of free, kind of tied up, so it'll have to be afternoon. Okay, so then your schedule already made your decision for you.
Yeah.
You see, but if I didn't re-ask a second time, I would have never known. And now when you say the afternoon, now I'm taking it away from you. Okay, now it's not going to be up to you. It's going to be up to me. Okay, well, check this out. I got a VIP time slot. I really want to make sure you get taken care of. I have a VIP time slot for 1:45, or we can do 3:15. Out of those two, which would be better?
Okay.
And they going to pay.
Yeah.
You see where it comes from? And they don't, I'm going to present them with some more. So I think that's a situation where you have to learn how to re-ask the question. A lot of people, you know, they say that, you know, people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes, right? And so when I'm asking for an appointment, especially when I know that I've earned it because I've identified, I'm exceeding their expectations, then I'll ask for the appointment 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I don't care. I'm saying it in different ways so they don't feel like, you know, pressured or anything like that. I'm not gonna just keep asking like nagging, but I'm gonna ask in different ways. I'm gonna phrase it in different ways. I might have to change the subject for a couple of minutes to kind of ease the whatever tension they might feel, and then I'm gonna re-ask for the appointment again because I know I earned it.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, what I ended up doing was he told me he would text me today, and I asked him what time was he going to text me.
Mm-hmm.
He said by 6 p.m. So I said, okay, if I don't hear from you, I'll give you a call.
All right. Yeah. So, and again, you can kind of hit him with that line that my VP came up with. She said, you know, hey, listen, you know, I'll make sure I'll give you a call if I don't hear from you first.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what.
And that's like a backup to the backup plan, but I really want us to get, because you got to realize, how do you get paid? Setting appointments, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, listen, do you want your money now? Like, because if you had to eat, you want to eat now, or meaning yesterday, whatever time you talk to them, or you want to eat tomorrow at 5, 6 p.m.?
Right.
Like, that's my food. I got kids to feed. I don't know what y'all talk about. Like, I got, you know what I'm saying? I got bills to pay. I got stuff going on. So I need my money now.
Yeah.
So if I can get it now, I want to get it now. If I can't, that's a whole other story. But I believe that a lot of stuff can happen now.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Cool. What else we got?
They're not really sure what vehicle they're interested in. What would we suggest?
Okay. Well, that's perfect. And because, you know, most customers that I talk to, a lot of people, they really don't know exactly which vehicle. Because, I mean, it's so crazy because I know nowadays it's very difficult to buy a bad vehicle, but it is easy to buy the wrong vehicle. So here's what I would suggest. How about we get together? I want to introduce you to one of my product specialists. This guy, Jason, is absolutely phenomenal. He's going to show you a couple of different vehicles. He'll show you some from the new, some from our pre-owned, because again, there's a lot of different things that's going to, you know, fit your wants, wishes, expectations, something that's be perfect for you and your family, okay? So let's not even worry about the exact vehicle. Let's just make this a fact and information gathering. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See, it's simple, right? It's all that's saying is that's a research customer.
So we never answer their question?
They didn't ask me a question. They said...
Or when they say, what do you suggest?
Oh, I suggest you come in.
Because I know...
That's what I suggest.
I forget who we talked to, but they said, what about your vehicle now do you like most? Or what do you need most in your next vehicle?
Here's the situation. That's great if you're a salesperson, if you were selling cars. If I was selling cars, if we was on the floor, absolutely, 100%. Great way to do it. But I'm not selling cars.
Okay.
What are we selling?
Appointments.
Appointment. It's very tough to remember, because here's the situation. Let's say, you know, you break down and y'all come up with this amazing vehicle and you're like, oh, this is absolutely perfect. And you're going to come in and buy something different. You see what I'm saying? So now what happened to all that time, those, you know, 15, 20 minutes you just poured into helping that person figure out the exact vehicle they wanted? What happens to it? Goes to waste. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And I always say if we learn how to treat a second like $1, we can become wealthy. So you spend 20 minutes on the phone, Vic, that's $1,200 down the drain. You might want $1,200 go down the drain?
No.
So that's why we got to focus on the main thing, which is setting the appointment. I'm going to let my product specialist handle that.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Awesome. What else I got?
All right. So say it's a husband and wife. The husband works like 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
They work long hours till, you know, we're open to close basically is the husband's hours. How do we try to fit them in and get them into an appointment?
I totally understand. So it's a lot of different ways I can handle this, right? A couple of different things. One of the first things, especially if I'm talking directly to the husband, or either way, even if I'm talking to the wife, it don't matter to me, right? I'm like, so what would so let's say you kind of had to schedule a doctor's appointment or something like that for him. How would that work? Hello?
He'd have to take off of work.
He'd have to take, right? And so, of course, I'm not saying this is anywhere near as important as his health, right? But I mean, you guys' transportation needs is pretty darn important, am I right?
Right.
Yes.
Right, yeah. So we just got to find a way. I don't know if it's a lunch break, anything like that. So I could give that a shot, right? I could also be like, hey, well, and I've done this before too. Hey, how about we just initially connect with you, and if we need to drive over to the job to kind of show them what it is that we do, it's a whole lot of different ways you can handle something like that. But either I'm gonna let her know that, come on now, if we got other stuff in our lives that we want to do, if you had to go on vacation, if you had to child's birthday party, anything else in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
People take off for what they want to take off for. You
Yep.
see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna be naive and be like, oh well, he just works 7 days a week, all day, every day. What are you doing Christmas? That's it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if that's the holiday they celebrate.
Could we suggest for that one, like if they're really pushing back, being like, well, why don't, if you're talking to the wife and it's the husband that's working a lot, why don't we bring
Sorry to
him in?
interrupt.
No problem.
I need
We
you
on
guys-
video. What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I
No,
need you
no
guys
problem.
to pass this around name and cell phone numbers on the pad. We're gonna go do the calls through the cell phone to click the call.
Boom.
My phones are down. All right, thanks.
Could we offer, like, having the wife come in and meeting with salesperson?
Yeah. So that was
doing-
my second suggestion.
And then doing like a video call with the husband, like if we
Mm-hmm,
can.
mm-hmm. And remember yeah, exactly. My second suggestion was that we could drive over to the job.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if then somebody says, "I want the job's too far," okay, do a video call, right?
Yeah.
So again, the whole thing is I'm focusing on what we can do. How can I get someone here, and then I'll let the salesperson handle that. Let the product specialist handle that. But it is a good suggestion to have. Like you should have that up your sleeve. I think it's important.
I was just thinking like that because with my husband, he does construction.
So does
he
mine.
has no idea where he's actually going to do
Yes,
that day.
that's how my
That's
husband is
there,
too.
so I'm like, I
Boom.
have
Then
no idea
yeah,
where he is.
absolutely. So
So
y'all
it's
we
one of those,
thinking
like,
right.
we
You
can't
do it
go
on
there
top of
because I
each
don't know
other.
where he is.
Boom. Good stuff.
We get a price pushback. What if a customer's pushing back? I really don't want to put money down.
Okay.
Well,
But they
you're
keep,
not
like,
required
pushing
to
back.
put money down.
You're not required to. You don't have to.
I'm
We
gonna
don't
say I'm gonna let
require-
y'all answer the question.
We don't
'Cause y'all
require
doing
money
good.
down at this dealership. Some banks might require it, but we won't know that until we run your credit.
So,
So,
and then side note too, with the leases, you have to put the first month's payment down, but we don't even, as salespeople, we don't ever say that, right? So,
Yeah.
once it's kinda like,
Y'all still selling cars though, I'll tell you that much.
yeah, like then
That's really
we're
what
like,
the
oh,
challenge
by
is.
the way. But normally people now like are very aware of that. Or also, a lot of times too, it's like, you don't have to put anything down, if you're comfortable with a slightly higher payment.
These are all unnecessary comments, right? I'm sorry to say y'all, it's all unnecessary comments because listen, if I don't know about the down payment until I get to, so I give you a price rebuttal, you push back. I give you a range, you push back. And then I say, okay, well, what type of price are you looking for? You say,
400 a month.
okay, cool. So this is either gonna be, sounds like either a finance or a lease, which one?
Lease.
Lease, okay, cool. So 400 a month for leasing. Is there a trade involved here?
No,
No, okay, cool. So we don't have to worry about that. And how much were you looking to put down?
none.
Okay, awesome. Well, as you know, different people qualify for different financial programs. If you allow me to place you a brief 20 or 30 second hold, I then come back to the line of line where I can write the information. Does that sound fair? And they say
Yeah.
yes, and now I'm getting my daggone point guard or my manager to handle it.
What
And
do we
I'm
do?
still gonna get paid. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I still think we're still thinking about selling the car. We're still thinking about overdoing this thing, and we're gonna complicate the system, and we're gonna miss out on a lot of money because we're focused on the wrong thing.
What if someone's trying to ask you about, like, I honestly don't actually know a lot of details. I'm computer about how leasing even works.
Mhm.
What if you have someone on the phone that's like really pushing you for information on what that is?
You know what?
Which
I got a
is
great
you.
idea. Here's the situation. Only because if I didn't know, I'd say this. You know what? I got a great idea. Let me place you on a brief hold. Hey, I'm gonna handle it. That's what the whole TO thing is for, right? If you don't know something, if you can't close the appointment for any particular reason, too busy. If you can't close the appointment for any particular reason, that's what you're going to TO for. You don't have to be like, well, I don't know, let me get my manager. Right? You don't have to say that. You just go, you know what, I got a great idea. Let me place you on a brief hold. Now, here with that being said, Does it make sense for you to learn how leasing works? I think so, right? It's not real difficult. It's not real complicated, right? The bottom line is, you're not purchasing the entire vehicle. You're not like, paying to own the vehicle. You're paying to, have access to the vehicle. You see what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of different ways you can break it down, but in turn, you abide to certain rules, regulations, meaning, okay, you're not going to drive a certain amount of time. You're going to take care of the vehicle, and at that point in time, then at the end of the lease, you can trade it back in and get something different.
And
You see what I'm saying?
the key with the whole thing, if this is okay, LA, is we're a team, right? So I don't think we've seen that yet because we haven't gone live yet, right?
Mhm.
So you guys were in here and you didn't see the process we're going to do now. So being a team, as a TL, I need you guys to be professionals and the masters of setting appointments.
Yes.
We'll be the professionals and masters of selling the car. Together, everybody's happy. You guys get paid on the appointments. We never want to take that away from you. We want you guys to set the appointment. If we need to jump in and help, that's okay too. Because at the end of the day, guess who really set the appointment still? You guys did.
Right.
You got them on the phone. All I did was throw a little bit in there.
That's the number one thing. A lot of times, and people may, they might feel some type of way about this or whatever like that. But when I say the number one value that an internet coordinator brings to the table is getting somebody on the daggone phone. That's what we struggling with, right? That's why your job exists. Because, Jason's ripping, running, he's selling cars, he got this going on, got that going on. He don't have time to make the amount of phone calls that it takes to get a result. So what do we got to do? We need help. What do? We hire people, right? And so it's like, okay, hey, listen, please, can you make the phone calls while I sell these cars, while I deal with this customer, while I do the fight? Can you make the phone call? And if so, you get somebody on the phone. I literally had a gentleman that used to sell almost 100 cars a month, but he just had 4 people that would make phone calls, and as soon as he got them on the phone, he'd be like, let me talk to him. Now, am I saying we should do that? No. Absolutely not. I don't think that's what's necessary. You guys are talented. That's why we, did all the scripts and we learned all that stuff. But there are going to be times where you got to TO the phone call, and not because you're not good. It's just because of that whole second voice syndrome. There's been plenty of times that I've like, you know what, I'm on the phone with somebody and I'll TO the phone call, right? So it's not because I'm not good on the phone. I'm pretty high on the phone, you know what I'm saying? But yet I'll TO the phone call, and Jason will get on and say the same thing I just said, and they'll set the appointment. It's a system that works. It's not. I'm not so great. It's the system that's great.
Amen.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Y'all keep asking me questions.
Coordinator.
That was pretty much all the relevant ones that we haven't already covered in the
Awesome.
bag. So
Awesome. So I'm hoping that, it's so crazy. A lot of times people, I'll kind of let you guys into my meeting here this morning. But a lot of times, we have all these questions, and a lot of times it's not so much that we need the answers to the questions. We need to think about the question properly, right? We need to think about the situation properly. It's not so much about selling a car, right? It's not so much about the pricing. It's not so much man, we selling appointments, and for real, appointments are free. You see what I'm saying? We don't ask for a whole daggum lot. So once we get the mindset right and we know our product, right? We got to know what our product is. We can't be, thinking our product is cars when it's really appointments. We can't think that we sell, milkshakes when really we sell chairs. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like in the furniture store, like, wait a minute, what happened to the ice cream? It wouldn't even work. It just doesn't make any sense, right?
Right.
That's why that analogy was so crazy. Like, oh, I sell purses or whatever like that, but I'm talking about, but the wood, wait a minute, it don't work. Like, it's the wrong product, right? So anyway, I'm silly, but I hope y'all appreciate what I've been sharing with y'all today. Thanks y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.